Hey guys, it's Ep45 and welcome back to episode 45 of my Leeds United career mode. Now in today's episode we've got the summer transfer window to get through. We won't be playing any games, we're just trying to make some transfers, signing some players but also selling some players as well. So before we get into things, if we could go ahead and hit 35 likes on today's episode, I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well, it'd be absolutely fantastic. We're currently on 6,350 subscribers, obviously aiming to try and hit 7,500 subscribers as soon as possible. Let's crack on with today's video though. So we're putting some bits in the previous episode. If you didn't see the previous episode, you can go and click that link in the description below. Basically, we put in these 4 bids. So we're after new centre attacking mid, new right back, new left mid, and a new striker. So about 4 signings in total. So these are the 4 players: Zinchenko, Byram, Gray, and Abraham. And we're hopefully going to get some sort of response back about them in the next couple of days. So there's a few days before this next game now. We will go and sim ahead in a couple of minutes, but I'm going to quickly show you the shortlist because there was some really good suggestions from the previous episode. I've added them to the shortlist, which is getting even longer than it already was, but we will quickly go through a couple of them. Lucas Klosterman, I'm going to go with. Never heard of him before actually, but he looks a decent player, so we are currently scouting him. Same with Callum Patterson. Not too sure what sort of overalls those two will be. Obviously, as like I said before, we're looking at a new right back. So we could potentially go for them. There was another 2 suggestions as well. The first of which was Asomba Longa, the striker, obviously for Nottingham Forest. I think he's a pretty decent player. Again, we're scouting him. Not too sure what his exact overall is. Ashley Fletcher is already scouted. He was another suggestion. Someone that I might actually go for, to be honest. Leeds looking at him in real life, so it makes sense. But also, you know, kind of got to make sure we're getting the right quality of player. He's only 72 overall, so maybe I was after someone around sort of 75, 76 overall region. But yeah, let's now crack on to sim in the next few days, see what sort of signings we make. Like I said before, we're not actually going to be playing any games in today's episode. We will be simming these pre-season matches, the first of which is against Stuttgart. And yeah, we'll wait and see before then what sort of players we can get in, if we can get any in. Transfer offering for Benny Peacock Fowl, 5.5 million. No, thanks. He's 21 years old, 77 overall, no chance. Leicester City have come back and said they're not interested in the player that I've included for the deal for Demarai Gray. And the player I included as part of that was Sacco, plus 1.5 million. Sacco, he is worth, I think it's like 3 million, is it? 2.4, so yeah, it was a little bit of a lower offer, but we will go ahead, I think, with a 2.2 million, so upped it by a little bit, and we'll wait and see what they say to that one. If that doesn't work, we might just have to go with pure cash. Bristol City also rejecting it as well. Not too much success today, but we have got them saying, even though they are interested in the player, they want 5.3 million on top of that. For that deal, we put in Lascelles as part of it, a player that we're trying to look to move on, but they want 5.3 million, not just 1 million. We will go with 2.5 plus Lascelles. I think that's more likely the amount that we're happy to pay. Man City saying that they are not interested in the player included for Zinchenko. Now, it's a shame about this one because I really want to sign him, but he is an expensive player, very expensive player. 5 million plus Chris Wood was the initial bid. They're not really interested in Chris Wood, and that means that that deal is looking unlikely. So, I don't really want to have to go any higher than that. Maybe I'll look to put in a different player, or maybe I actually have to sign him a loan or sign a different centre attacking mid. Okay, because I desperately want Zinchenko, what we're going to do is change the offer slightly. I want to sign him permanently rather than having to pay 73 grand a week for him for like a year or two, whatever. We're going to put in Aarons, who's worth 7 million, plus 2 million on top of that. And we'll wait and see what they say to that. Aarons, I've been a bit disappointed with his in-game performance. That's why I'm going to try and move him on. He's 76 overall as well, so getting in a better quality player. I think he can also play on the right-hand side as well as Zinchenko. I could be wrong. We've also got an inquiry about the Swansea City striker, 24 million. I think we can just move on from that one. Transfer offering for Liam Cooper, Nottingham Forest, 1.5 million. We're going to ask for 2 million, and I'd be happy to let Liam Cooper move on for that amount. And West Ham says unacceptable the amount that we put in for Sam Byram. Was it a straight trade deal? I can't remember now. No, there's 2.5 million as well. I think we might have to move on to a different right back here. I know it seems like we're giving up a little bit early, but 64 grand a week, a lot. He's actually looking like quite a decent right back. He has seemed to have grown in his physical stats a little bit, which is good because I wasn't too sure about them. So it's tempting, but I think we might put in one final bid. Okay, slightly different bid now. We're going to put in Calvin Phillips, who's worth 2.3, so 1.3 million more than Barani was, but obviously he's not a right back. And then we're going to go with 2.5 million again on top of that. It won't necessarily be our final bid, actually. I might look to increase it slightly in this case. Calvin Phillips is another player that we're looking to try and move on. not being able to use him as much in recent times. Ronaldo Vieira is saying he wants to play for this next match. He might do, to be honest. We will quickly go ahead and sim that now. Okay, so the team we've gone with is on the left-hand side. Bailey Farrell, Eiling, Lascelles, Anderson, Sacco, Vieira, Bergstrom, Aarons, Wilson, Dekara and Roof. Obviously, there's a few players there that might not be at the club much longer, hence why I'm playing them in this game. So if they do get injured or suspended or whatever, then that doesn't matter. We've won this first game 2-1. Aaron's actually a player that's on the way out, hopefully. Has got himself a goal there in probably his final game. Stockdale's not happy with his role at the club, and Vieira's thanking me for playing him in the last match. To show about Stockdale, really, it was kind of the expectation he was going to be the second goalkeeper, so I don't know why he's complaining. He's 72 overall. He's much older and less good than Bailey Farrell, so you can't really expect to be playing many games. And we've got a transfer offer in for Bailey Farrell. Speaking of him, I think we'll just reject all offers. They are pretty pathetic, some of those bids we've been having in. Leicester City again say not interested in the player that I've included. This is getting a little bit frustrating now. Sacco plus 2.2 million. Maybe I'm being a little bit too stingy, I think, with this one. I think I'll look to go 3 million in Sacco. I'm quite happy to do that. I think I will be my final bid, though, for that one. That Man City saying unacceptable, not interested in the play, yet again for Zinchenko. So what I think we might have to do, because I'm not interested in Aaron's, I think we're going to struggle to get him in, really. This is a difficult one. My very final bid for Zinchenko, 3 million and Aaron's, and then we'll have to move on to a different target, sadly. There are other players I've been looking at in that position, so it's not the end of the world. We can get in someone else, probably get someone else for a bit cheaper, to be honest. But I did really want Zinchenko. I do like him. I've used him on previous Coronas off camera. He looks really good in game. Nottingham Forest only willing to pay 1.5 million, which is the exact same bid they put in before. So we will just ask for the 1.8, which is what it's worth. And hopefully they go ahead and match that. West Ham again coming back saying not interested in the player. That means we will have to look, I think, at somebody else here. Calvin Phillips plus 2.5 million. I don't really want to have to go too much more. He's already 64 grand a week. The final bid, 3.5 million for Calvin Phillips. We're putting in quite a few final bids now. I'm not willing to really increase my amount by much now. But Tammy Abraham here, they've actually had a bid accepted for that. That's 2.5 million plus Lascelles. And he is wanting 40 grand a week. Again, not too sure exactly of his overall, but I think he's fairly decent. His stats look very good. And he would be an important first team player, I think, for us. I'm keen to get him in, actually. He's a young player. Again, like I said before, his stats look really good. So yeah, it will be quite nice to sign him. A scout report back on Assam Belonga. We'll get one back in 12 days for Tammy Abraham. His stats look okay, but Assam Belonga's here are pretty decent. 76 overall, 6 million he's worth. He's actually worth a little bit more than I was expecting. I thought it'd be a little bit less than that. We'll have some more scout reports coming back in the next few days. Another player I've been looking at for a little while now is Diame. Now, I actually think this player is much better than what his overall and his stats actually suggest. I think he's quite a good player. His shooting, his strength, that is the sort of player I'm after, really, to drive us forward as a team. So he is a little bit older now, but I am still going to put in a bid. It's going to be 2 million. Obviously, it's a cheaper option for not getting Zinchenko. It's not quite a long-term option. It's more of a short-term option for us. But I think he could be quite good anyway. Hopefully we can try and sign him. And I can see him being quite an important player. We don't have many big players in the team. I've said this before, midfield in particular. Don't have too many big players. That could really help us in there. And we might put in another bid. Dwight Gale as well, another striker we're going to take a look at if things don't work out with other players. And yeah, it could actually happen, this one. He's very fast. I've used him before on a Leeds career mode. He can also play left mid, actually, which I didn't know. But yeah, we're going to put in a bid, and it's going to be just, I think, a £3.2 million bid. Just a little bit underneath his value. He's a squad rotational player for some reason. So yeah, we're going to go ahead with that. On to the second friendly now. This is the side I've gone with. Stockdale starts, Eiling, Jason Denayer, Anderson, Shotgrass, Delph, Cooper, Aarons, Cook, Berahino, and Roof. Cooper obviously is in the centre-back. That's the CDM youngster I have. They've actually scored 2 minutes in. They missed a penalty 4 minutes in as well, so it's not going great for us. We'll skip it straight away, and we've lost the game this time 2-1. Roof getting a late goal, 8 minutes left of that match. So disappointing we've not won it. I was after really a draw from that game. It can sometimes be difficult to pick up results against some of these teams. But that does leave us still second, so a good chance of us getting through still. But just one more game to play now. Barrow's not happy with this role at the club. Very, very strange one. Just because he's not played in pre-season doesn't mean he's not going to be playing in the future. Very strange. Obviously, he'll start the next game now. But yeah, he's one of my better players, so I don't know why he's concerned with the role at the club. I play him most of the time. More bad news with these offers. Leicester City and Man City both rejected the bids I put in for their players, and there were pretty much final bids for most of them. So we might have to look at alternative players. Certainly can't be putting in Sacco by the looks of it. Doesn't seem like they're interested in him whatsoever. So 4 million will be the bid. it's a little bit more than I'd want to pay really for him. We don't have a big budget basically, so I can't afford to spend that much money. Zinchenko, I think that deal's completely off the table now by the looks of it. Diame's looking more likely. But yeah, it's a shame about that one because I really did like him. It just doesn't seem like they wanted Aaron's. So it's a bit frustrating, but we might have to leave that deal, I think, now. Okay, some player drills to do now. We're going to go with 5 youngsters. Hopefully give them a go and see what they're like this week. Going quite nicely, actually, for us this week. We've got Morrison going up to 63 overall, which is fantastic. A lot of his stats going up there. He obviously had 2 drills. Wilson had 2 drills, and Anderson had the other one. But yeah, looking decent. Again, we need to try and progress them, try and get them being trained most weeks. We'll probably try and do that now as a kind of a rule of thumb to make sure that the players that we're training up are always the Youth Academy products that we've got coming through. Tammy Abraham has accepted the contract. We're still not 100% sure what overall he is, but I'm pretty confident to accept it, I think, here. I'm not really too sure exactly what to do, whether I should wait or not. 2.5 million plus Lascelles. We might wait a little bit longer, see when his scout report comes back on him. Yeah, so we're going to wait 10 days, and obviously the deal will expire in 7 days, so we can't really wait too much longer. But it does seem like he's a good player, so I'm going to take the risk. It's only 2.5 million. Obviously, I know Lascelles is going the other way, but he's not really been that good for us. So we will go ahead and accept it and make him, I think, our first signing of the summer transfer window, I want to say. I'm pretty sure of that. I can't think of anyone else that I've signed, but yeah, very happy with that one. And he is our first signing that I can remember. 74 overall, decent pace, obviously 76 finishing, and 6'3", 20 years old, loads of growth there, I think, for us. Strength-wise, pretty decent as well. He's the sort of player that I was after. He's young, he's English, and he pretty much fits exactly on what I'm wanting. Newcastle are rejecting the bid for Dwight Gale. They want 4.6 million. We offered them 3.2. We're getting a little bit nearer to what they were wanting, but still not exactly what I was after. So maybe we put in a deal here, including Chris Wood. I think it's a shame to let him go. He's obviously doing incredible in real life. 20 goals so far this season. He scored again the other night. DeCaro's goal, by the way. Oh, what a finish. But we are going to have to, I think, get rid of Chris Wood. He's not really part of our plans. He doesn't look great in game, and I'm sad to say that, really. But he's worth 3 million, so we'll put 500 grand and Chris Wood towards Dwight Gale, and we'll see what Newcastle say to that. And they've also rejected that bid for Diame as well. Luckily, though, they're a little bit more money, which will near enough match. I think we'll go for the 2.5 million. They should let us have him for that. Nottingham Forest to come back and match the 1.8 million that we've asked for Liam Cooper. He looks to be on the way out. Maybe we need another centre-back. We might have to look at that because the Sellers is gone and Cooper is on the way out. So maybe we need one more. We'll have to take a look at it, I think, now. And West Ham have again rejected the bid that we put in for Sam Byram. Frustrating, that one. Very frustrating. Because I wanted to try and bring him back, but we don't have a big budget. We can't really afford to give away these sort of big salaries to players that not insignificant, but kind of like half in the team, half out the team. He's not a 100% starter. So we can't really afford to give that sort of salary out to Sam Byram, sadly. So we're going to have to look at, I think, alternative right-backs. This could be a really good one for us. Callas, this could be the perfect option. Now, he's a right-back. He can also play centre-back. Now, I've been playing through at the back a lot recently. He's only 6 foot. That's my only concern with him. But he's very much like Eiling. He can play centre-back. He can play right-back. So very, very happy with that. I'm not too sure of his overall. That's the only concern. He's a crucial first-team player, so we've got to assume that he's well and truly good enough to start for Fulham. So we'll just go with an initial bid of 2 million. I think we're scouting him. We'll wait and see what that comes back and says. But yeah, so it looks very good. 25 years old as well. So I'll be curious to see exactly how he does overall-wise. I'm pretty sure he looks an okay player, though. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a centre-back now before we get into this final group stage match that we've got. It's a little bit annoying that it has to be Man United play, but he kind of looks like the sort of player that I'm after, really, for another centre-back. We've currently got about 4 centre-backs. Obviously, Eiling will be the 5th one if he plays there, but I want another out-and-out centre-back. I don't want to play anywhere else. No, he can just play centre-back. So he looks like the sort of guy that I'm after. He's young, 20 years old, he's fast, and he'd be a good squad player, I think, forwards. He's current future first-team player at Man United, but I think we could get him for, I'm hoping, anyway, that we can get him for 1.8 million. The chief executive reckons a little bit more than what he's worth. I think we can maybe get him for that. I'm not really too sure what Man United will say, but hopefully we're not too far off the amount that they'll sell him for. Now let's go on to the final group stage game. It's against Augsburg. We've got Bailey, Pierre, Farrell, Eiling, Denayer, Taylor, Barrow, Delph, Vieira, McNeil, Cook, Abraham and Wood all starting for us. We've got 1-0 up with Vieira, 5 minutes in. Let's skip it. We've won the game 3-0. Very convincing win. Abraham with his first goal on his debut as well. Stuck him and Chris Wood some real heights up front there, and it's clearly worked. Chris Wood's probably his final game there, unless obviously he can make it to the end of that game, and if we need him for that game, then that might well be his last one. But we have some more positive news. This was a bit that I didn't tell you guys about because I wasn't too sure about it. Zinchenko, Man City basically accepted the 2-year loan offer that we put in for him, 73 grand a week for a centre attacking mid. Not too sure on this one. It's obviously a huge chunk of our wage budget, but I'm just seeing whether they're willing to let that happen. They are, so we could get him in. I really do rate him. It's a 2-year deal. This career mode will probably only last another 1-2 seasons, so we'd have him for the whole of the rest of this career mode, basically. So I think it's tempting. It's very tempting. It's a shame it's 73 grand a week. If it was more like 50, then I'd probably do it. But 73 is a lot of money, so I'll leave it for a little bit, and I'll get your guys' thoughts about it in the comments below as well. Let me know what you think about that. We've got a little bit more money, though, coming in for the pre-season tournament. How's about if we win the pre-season tournament, we will sign Zinchenko. That's what I'll do. 1.1 million we've just got added onto the budget. So if we win the tournament, we'll sign him. If we don't, then we won't. I think that makes sense, just because we'll have a little bit more money from obviously winning it. Let's move on now and see if we can get any more emails in. Okay, why didn't you just do this at the start? 4 million Leicester City have accepted for Damari Gray. We'll move straight on to the wage offer. He's worth 4.2. I've been putting in all these sort of bids, chucking in players in very similar positions, and I've just accepted 4 million outright. He's a sporadic first-team player for some reason, but yeah, 4 million was just accepted. Again, a little bit more than I was wanting to pay, really. I don't want to have to give that sort of cash up front. We will go, I think, with a 5-year deal. Important first-team player. I'd be really happy to have him in the squad. He's a very fast player, great dribbling, and I'd really be excited to see him in the team. Hopefully that one can happen. Again, it's a little bit more than I was willing to pay. It's quite a big chunk of our budget. But if it happens, then it'll be a decent deal for us. And Man United have come back and said they want 2.8 million for their young centre-back. We're not probably going to be able to match that, I don't think. I'm more thinking 2.2 is near enough as far as I want to go, I think, with that one. And Fulham have rejected the Callas bid straight away. It's obviously worth more than 2 million, they feel. So maybe we go with a slightly different offer, maybe chucking a player as part of that deal. Kind of running out of players to put in there, I think, to be honest. Antonson's a player that's going, so let's go 2.5 million plus Antonson and see what Fulham say to that. Player sold. Liam Cooper's gone to Nottingham Forest. We get 1.2 million from that. That could actually help us get the Zinchenko deal done. Because again, it's a little bit extra money that will help us on the wage budget and the transfer budget, and that gets us right back up into profit now as well, which is great. And let's move on to the Anderlecht game. Will we have any more emails? It seems like we might have a couple to look at though beforehand. This is the semi-final against Anderlecht, but before then we do have some emails. We've got Charlie Cooper coming in and saying he wants to play in this next game. 18 years old, not too sure overall he is. He might well make an appearance. We obviously need to win it to get into the final to hopefully try and win the whole pre-season tournament. Newcastle, on the other hand, though, have come back and rejected the bid for Dwight Gale. Not interested in the play. I think it was Chris Wood that we put in as part of that deal. Plus 500 grand. Maybe that's a little bit stingy. 1.5 million. We'll wait and see again what they say to that. It's well and truly more than what he is worth, so it should really happen. We'll wait and see, though. Newcastle accepting the other bid, though, for Diame. 2.5 million. Don't really want to match his 35 grand a week wages. We'll go 32, going in between that. 2-year deal. And I think it's called rotational or important. Important we'll go with. I think important's probably a fairer option for him. He should accept that it's a wage increase, even though it's not what he's exactly wanting. And let's move on to the Anderlecht game. I'll change around the team and see whether we can get ourselves into the final. So this is the side I'm going to go with for the game against Anderlecht. We've got Bailey Piro starting goal, Eiling, Anderson, Taylor, Barrow, Cooper, Delph, Aaron, Cook, Abraham and Berahino. A strong team there forwards. Will it be enough, though, to get through? Imboji, if you recognise that name from the FIFA 15 career mode or FIFA 16 career mode when we signed him as centre-back, he was incredible for us. Will be quite nice to sign him again, actually. I'll take a look at him after this game. We're 1-0 up, Barrow scoring, getting a second goal for us as well. They pull one back, and we win the game 2 when we're into the final. Let's wait and see who we come up against. But I might take a look at that Imboji guy, because he was a fantastic centre-back for us when we had him in the team. So yeah, I'll take a look and see what he is like now. There he is, 6'4". What a tank. We're not too sure what overall he is. We'll take a look at him. 18 days, that'll take. But we'll certainly inquire about him as well. Let's see exactly what sort of overall he is now. Okay, Damari Gray has accepted his contract. He could sign for us now. 4 million, 45 grand a week. And that would certainly help us out massively. I think what we'll do is accept that deal. I'm really wanting to try and get in a couple more players into this team. He was the sort of player that I was after originally, so signing him is very good news for us. 4 million he cost us, and we get an extra 2.5 for getting into the final. Do we get Zinchenko, though? We'll have to wait and see whether we win the final. Berardi's not happy with his result at the club. Louis Coyle as well. Yeah, he might have to be loaned out, I think, Coyle. And Cooper's happy with the chance that he got in that last game. On to some player drills now. The exact same 5 drills that we did last week. Hopefully have as good as growth as we did last time. We actually have had some very good growth here. Wilson's gone up to 69 overall. Anderson gets close to 76. And a couple of other attributes going up as well from those drills. So, we've got to get against Granada, I think, is it? I want to say it's Granada. We'll have to wait and see in a second. Man United have accepted our bid for their young centre-back. He'll actually take a pay decrease to join us. Ideally, I was wanting nearer to 30 grand, but 35 we'll have to do. 5-year deal, and I think a product first-team player is a fair one to offer him. Hopefully he agrees to that. Fulham said unacceptable for Callas. They want 6 million plus the player we have offered. The player we offered was Antonsen? Yes, it was. Plus, what was it, 5-6 million? Yeah, it's quite a lot of money, isn't it? Not too sure about that one. Again, I want him as another right-back or a centre-back, in which case if we were to sign him, we wouldn't actually need that young Man United player. So, maybe we go with 3.5 million. I don't know whether to chuck in someone else. It's a shame, really, because Antonsen, they seem to be interested in him, but he's just not worth that much. Don't know if we've got anyone else that I'll be wanting to put in a trade deal in for. Okay, it's a very strange one, this one, but Aaron's for Callas. Aaron's worth 7, Callas they're valuing at 7. He's probably not quite worth that, to be honest, but Aaron's is a player I feel like I won't be using, so there's no point keeping him. We've signed Amari Gray, I think he'd be a better option for us. So we're going to go with that. Again, it's probably ripping ourselves off a little bit, but we're going to do everything we can to try and sign Callas. He seems to fit exactly what we're after. There's obviously other options as well, I won't deny that. We might well get in someone else instead. We've got Dwight Gale here, a bid for him being rejected. Again, they just don't seem to be interested whatsoever, so it doesn't seem like they're interested in Chris Wood. It's a shame, because we need to get rid of him somehow. Maybe we'll go with Antonsen as part of this deal instead. Maybe that one will work better for us, and we'll go 2 million plus Antonsen. See what they say to that one. Maybe teams are more interested in Antonsen than Chris Wood. And they want 5.5 million for Mbodji. That would be quite nice, but again, just not too sure overall he is. It's the only downside. He was a very strong player, he was a decent player, but we don't really know what overall he is. So, maybe a £4 million bid. I want to go with that, I think. Again, not really too sure. We'll wait and see when his overall comes back. And I think that will be where the episode ends. It's tempting to obviously do the Granada final, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below about some of the things that have happened in today's episode, so I can see what to do next time round with like the Zinchenko deal and that sort of thing. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Also, we've probably gone far too overtime here, to be honest, so we will end things here. Thank you so much for watching. If we could go ahead and hit 35 likes on today's episode, I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That'll be absolutely fantastic. I really do appreciate it. If you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Also follow me on Twitter as well, at Ep45. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.